What's up, my friends, and welcome back to MLB The Show Franchise Rebuild Mode, Episode 2, Season 2. We've made a lot of progress in year one or after year one. If you haven't had a chance to check out that first video, we're going to drop the link in the description. I urge you to check it out. We were 0-162. It can't be any worse, right? Right? Please, somebody tell me it can't be any worse, because that was painful. Obviously, we are still ranked 30th. We're still not a good baseball team. I expect to not win many games, but I do expect to win games, some semblance of games this season. So I'm hoping that we do a little bit better. So we've done a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to let everybody know we got rid of injuries because I spent way too much time in this recording last week just sifting through injuries of Joe Random after Joe Random after Joe Random and trying to figure out, what's the easiest way to just auto-utilize all of these guys because they're all terrible. So what I did was I just turned injuries off probably for the duration of this franchise, but at least until we get good and we actually manage the team instead of just, bypassing everything. So we're not going to do anything with injuries now, but I do think that we will turn them back on maybe later in the franchise once we have an actual team. The other thing I wanted to show you was our lineup. It's going to be set for the 2026 season. Obviously, the big thing that we're going to do is get our draft picks in the lineup and playing early. You can see that Steven Mason is hitting second. He was our 5th round pick. He's going to play short. Jimmy Castle, who's a second baseman by nature, he's going to play third. He's going to hit third in the lineup. Yohel Pozo, who's our catching Rule 5 pick, he's our best player. He's going to be the 4-hole hitter. And then after that, of course, some of our pitchers who made the lineup as well are going to make the team, I should say. Hunter Barco, our Rule 5 pick, is going to be the number 1 on the staff. Jason Little, who was our 1st round pick, the 65 overall, he's going to be our number 2. We've split the rotation into 2 lefties and 3 righties. And then later in the bullpen, I should say, Charles Kobayashi is our 6th round pick. He's going to be on the team more by default than anything else. And then the one guy that we're super, super excited about, Pablo Hernandez, our 4th round pick, a 67 overall with an A potential. I don't think he's going to be good this year, but I do hope that there's not a negative, a regression from pitching in the bigs. This is unfortunately kind of what we have to do, but he's going to make the team. But Yohel Pozo, we can sign to a multi-year extension. And I think, honestly, he's probably worth it. I don't think we're going to go to a big extension right away. We could get out the renewable years in his contract. We could technically get rid of the arbitration years if we wanted to as well. But I think what we're going to do is sign Pozo to a 3-year extension. Right away, we're going to go sign him to a 3-year extension. He only wants $990,000 per season after getting the first year of arbitration and his next 2 years of salary renewable. So I think we're going to offer him just slightly over that. We're going to offer him $1 million per year, and I imagine he's going to take it. Not a surprise that he took it. So Yohel Pozo is locked up for the next 3 years. We now actually have a legitimate player on our roster that's not a Joe Random signed to a multi-year extension. Now, other than that, I think it's going to be pretty easy. We're going to flash forward right to the start of the regular season. Unless something crazy happens and the game screws up our roster.
Well, good luck with that.
But of course it was, so we're going to have to backtrack a little bit. So we are officially in the regular season now. Again, we're the 30th ranked team in baseball, but we do have the 6th best speed somehow. So we'll see how that translates. Hunter Barco is going to get the start on opening day against Kodai Senga. Then we will go with Jason Little against Clay Holmes, and we'll wrap up the series with Larry Woodson against Shane Baz, who I guess the Mets picked up in free agency or in the trade deadline this year. All right, we did not win a game in the first 5 games. So let's see if we could try to win one in the final game of the series against the Rays. We do not. Felix Bautista gets sent to the Angels in an early April trade. That's interesting. The Angels acquire an elite-level closer. So we're 0-6 through the first 6 games, which means I don't think anything is going to change in the next couple of weeks. Let's see when we win our first game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a win. We have beaten the Colorado Rockies 9-2, sandwiched in between a 16-1 and a 20-2 loss. But the Philadelphia Phillies, for the first time in this rebuild, have a win. We're 1-12 To pair that with our 0-162, which means we are 1-174, but we officially have a win, a 9-2 victory. Hunter Barco gets the win. Let's take a look at this box score. 9 runs by your hometown squad. Eddie Nieves with 3 hits, Yohel Pozo with 3 hits, Jimmy Castle with 2 hits, Jamison Fisher with 3 hits, Mark Ono with 3 hits. He's hitting .392. We had 15 hits in this one, a home run by Jamison Fisher, RBIs, 3 from Fisher, 1 from Castle, Ono, Mason, Hamill, Lambert with 2, Hunter Barco with 7 strong innings, Kobayashi and Parker Harm out of the pen finish it off, and they win the game 9-2. Yes, we lost 20-2 the next night, but we have a win. And that's all I can ask for in the first 13 games as we are officially in the win column. Now, I asked before the season started, how many wins do you think we would get? I said we'd be somewhere in the 30-ish range. I got 32 on YouTube. I got a couple of comments on Twitter saying less than 30. So I'm going to see if we end up getting to 30. Let's simulate through the end of the month to see if we even win another game. And it's not looking promising. We won 1 additional game. We won 2-1 against the New York Mets. We are officially 2-30 through the first 32 games of the season. Let's simulate through May to see where we get to after that 2-win month. A 3rd win, a series victory. Not only did we win a game, we won a series. We have beaten the Pittsburgh Pirates 2 out of 3 games to get our 4th and 5th wins of the year, a 5-2 win, a 1-0 win. We get 5 consecutive losses after that, and it was 7 consecutive losses before that. But a 1-0 win, 2 1-0 wins in a week. Our first 2 shutout wins of the franchise. Let's see how we fared. Jason Little wins his first game. We are now 5-44 on the regular season. More losses, no surprise there. We move into the month of June with a 6-54 record. But it's better than I could have hoped for after that 0-20-some-odd start. We can simulate through the month of June. We're not quite at the draft just yet, but we do pick up a handful more wins, 3, 4. Can we get 5 wins in a month? Yeah, we won 4 games in a month. That puts us at 10-76, which means we can now get to the draft, which is where we're going to try to add some more players to the fold, and hopefully they become immediate major league caliber prospects, because we should have a top 10 pick in this year's draft. All right, it looks like we ended up with the number 1 overall pick, which is really good for us because we're now on the clock, and we're not going to miss the draft time this time. I promise. I don't think we think about this too much. I think we just go with the guy that I know for a fact has a super high floor. Now, he's listed as the 4th best player, but he could be a 77 overall right away. I mean, that's a number 1, and I know his potential is only 88. I know we're looking for, I said we're looking for upside, and this is not necessarily the upside per se that we're looking for. Like, this guy could be a legitimate stud. Johnny Chapo, who we put on our list, could start as low as a 60, as low as a 53, but I think the potential is super high. You know, we could certainly use a center fielder right away. This is the number 2 player in the country. I feel really good about drafting Larry Stefan. I feel really good about drafting any one of the starters, really. But I think we have an opportunity to go get a guy who, at minimum, is going to be a 77 overall right away. He's asking for $8 million. I'm giving him that money to sign right away. I think with the number 1 overall pick, even though this is maybe not necessarily the highest potential pick we can make, I think this is the safest get this guy to the big leagues right away pick that we can make. We're going to take Reed Carlick with the number 1 overall pick in the draft and add another starting pitcher to the group. Again, not the best player available, perhaps, but perhaps the guy that right away is going to come in and be a dog for us. Let's simulate to our next pick, which is the 39th pick in the second round, or the number 1 pick in the second round, I should say. The 39th pick overall. Both the guys that we had on our queue are still available. Now, again, this guy could have a wide variety of overall and potential. But, I mean, if we take that guy, he probably makes, I mean, there's no probably about it. He's going to make the team right away. There's a whole bunch of guys who still are very, very good. But I think the guy that I'm super excited to go with is the third baseman that we pinned early in the game. And again, we're taking a risk here at 39, but is the potential to be a 98 potential and a 91 overall. We're going to take Eugene Chavez, the third baseman, the international prospect, and see where we end up with him. He's the 19th ranked player in the draft, and we just got him at 39 overall, which is a huge get for us. Henry Page is going to be our next pick. He's the 82nd best player available. We're going to take him a little bit above value at 77, but I think we're going to take Henry Page to get some help in our bullpen for next season. We need some catching depth outside of Yohel Pozo. We have no catching depth whatsoever. So we are going to take the catcher that is ranked 96th overall. We're going to take him with the 107th pick. Aaron Das is our fourth-round selection. I know this guy's a little bit older compared to having an 18-year-old second base prospect that could be legit, but I think we're going to take, in this case, we're going to go with the floor pick and take Reuben Harder, the right fielder. A 97 potential? Listen, I don't know if this guy's any good, but it's the 167th pick. Does it really matter? Pick Danny Flood, get him on our team. Our draft picks, I think, this year are going to be really, really good. I am super excited about Reed Carlick joining the rotation next season. I'm really, really excited about some of these guys. Today is an opportunity for us to sign our picks. We are going to do that, and we are going to get Reed Carlick on this team as quickly as possible. Yes, he is priority number one. I will absolutely be willing to give him $8 million to sign. I think that Chavez is a massive importance. Again, high bonus, $2.7 million. He should be. So we're going to see what we can do with these guys. Let's offer Carlick a contract. He wants, how much money does he want? $10 million? I thought his bonus demand was 8. MLB suggested slot value is 10.5. That's going to leave very little money for the rest of these guys. We have to get this guy. It's really going to suck. I think we're going to try to offer slightly below value just to see if he'll take it. And he did. I'm surprised he took that deal. I'm going to offer this guy slightly over because it updates his motivation to sign pretty sizably. So I know the bonus demand is 363. We're going to offer him 523 to get him to sign. So let's get Chavez signed because I think he's going to be a really, really good player. His demand is 2.75. We can offer him a little bit above slot value. It doesn't really update his motivation all that much. I have a feeling he's not going to sign. But let's offer him 2.78, a little bit over. I had a feeling he was going to decline because I'll be honest, I'm not sure any of these dudes want to sign. Let's try Chavez again. Our last offer was 2.75. I really don't think he's going to sign. I mean, I'm willing to go way over asking just to get him. We'll offer you 3.34. There we go. Yeah, we had to offer him a significant amount of money to get him to sign, which is fine. We could try to sign the rest of our guys now with what little money we have left. I don't think we have enough to sign all three guys, to be honest, but I would like to sign a majority of these guys if I can. You're asking for 860, slot values 1.01. We'll give you 1.03. There we go. This is all we have to do is just offer all these guys way more money than what we have, and we'll get them to sign. So I guess it comes down to Das or Harder. I'm not sure we get both in this scenario. Slot value here is 500. Das is, I really need a catcher, but Harder's the better player. Let's go sign Harder because I think we really need a legitimate outfield help or legitimate outfield help. He signed. Now let's see if we can get Das with what little money we have left. I imagine he's not interested in taking. It's 41%. I would imagine he's probably not going to take it, even if we go way over slot value. Oh my goodness, he signed. We have signed every single one of our draft picks. I don't know how it happened, but we have signed every single one of our draft picks. This team is going to start to look a little bit better in the coming years. We'll go to the calendar. We'll simulate the rest of the year. If we can get to 20, that would be awesome. I highly doubt we're going to get to 20. We won 20 games, 20 and 142. It's way less than I thought we were going to win. But we won 20 games. That's 20 more wins than we had last season. And the Brewers beat the Yankees in the World Series. Now the problem is going to be how many of our guys are going to retire? Because that was the issue that we had last time. I have a lot of 40s on the roster. I could see a lot of these guys retiring. So we are going to take proactive steps. We'll see you on the other side. I need to save. Because if I don't save and I have to do all this again, I'm going to freak out. So I'll see you on the other side after we save this file, just to be safe.
He's learning.
All right, welcome back. We are going to simulate now officially to the offseason and see who retires. Our manager is up. Our hitting coach is up. So we're going to flash forward ahead. I'll let you know who our manager is going to be, who our hitting coach is going to be. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes once we hire these guys. All right, so we officially have our hitting coach and our manager. What we decided to do, as we know, Caleb Cotham's a younger manager or a younger coach. Paco Figueroa is on the younger side. We decided to go young. We hired a 38-year-old hitting coach and a 44-year-old manager to pair with our very inexperienced team. Now, that could be a good thing as they can relate to the guys a little bit better. They're a little bit younger, a little bit cooler. Or it could be a bad thing because you maybe need a little bit of a veteran voice in the clubhouse. But Noah Ellis is going to be our manager. He signed for 3 years and $3.5 million. Damian Beal signed a 3-year deal worth $1.7 million a season. He's just 38 years old. Both of those guys had a potential. The only knock on Ellis is he's a -1 in hitting, but he's a +3 in stealing, +1 in fielding, and a +2 in plate discipline. Damian Beal, +2 in drag, +1 in power, -1 in bunting, but a +3 in contact was a huge sell for us because we just have to hit the baseball more. So he gets that +3. We are going to extend Caleb Cotham, I think, at some point, just because in real life I love Caleb Cotham. And then we'll figure out the rest of the crew. I think Dusty Wathan probably is not going to be back. In fact, those negatives are really negative. I think I'm going to fire Dusty Wathan. Yes, I know I'm still going to have to pay him the $541,000. I think we can get a better third base coach. I think we can get a better third base coach who's going to keep us in way more positive. Now, obviously, I think that some of these guys are going to sign as managers, not necessarily as base coaches. But for example, like Carlos Mendoza probably should be hired as a manager, but instead, here he is, just a -1 fielding, but a +3 reaction, +1 arm accuracy, and a +2 steal. We are going to offer Carlos Mendoza a job as our third base coach. So we have a whole bunch of contracts to tender. We're going to do that. We'll be back on the other side, and then we'll start to get into the free agency. If anybody's available that's going to help this ball club, we'll see you in just a little bit. All right, so we ran into a slight problem here. So obviously all of our guys were on very minimal deals, but the problem was anybody that was on the Major League roster last year has to make Major League minimum, at least in this game. So some of these guys, like I left 4 of them here, for example, Carlos Bautista, who spent basically the whole year in the major leagues, pitched 93 innings to a 7 ERA, even though he's a 48 overall and a D potential. If I wanted to renew his contract, he would go from making $60,000 to making $780,000 overall. So that's $720,000 per guy that I had to adjust for. Now, some of the guys were easy re-signs, like some of our higher-end potential guys or some of our higher overalls. Braden Carmichael, for example, pitched just in AAA last year. But he wants $780,000 because he's on the 40. I'm not giving him $780,000 to pitch in AAA when our team is pretty much terrible. All right, so we ended up getting 3 guys to help out that depth. We just, again, it's relief depth. It's nobody that's any good. And I need to go get a closer as well. There are no closers there. So actually what we are going to have to do in this spot is I'm going to have to convert one of my relievers to a closer. It's the only thing that we can do that makes sense because I only have 2 on the roster at this current moment. So I think what we're going to do is take Danny Flood, the reliever that we drafted in the 6th round, and convert him to a closer. We still only have 15 starters, which unfortunately we can't address in the Rule 5 because we drafted a starter last year. So we are going to have to go figure out a way to go get some more starting pitching. We have to select our 40. There's really nobody here that worries me about losing them. Like if you really want a 33-year-old 51 overall starter, then you go right ahead. There's nobody really on this list that worries me about losing them. All right, so we've got the requisite amount of relievers. We still have a lot of roster construction that we need to do, but I think for now we can get to the Rule 5 draft. A lot of these guys are going to be available in February anyway. Nobody wants to sign them. So I think we're going to simulate through to the winter meetings, which again really doesn't do anything for us. Free agency is not an issue. We are going to simulate right to the Rule 5 draft, which we should be, again, in the top 5 picks or so of the Rule 5 draft. We have a 16.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. All right, so remember, we cannot select a starter, which is unfortunate because there's a whole bunch of dudes who would help our rotation right away. Any good relievers? Adbert Alzolay, is available. He's a little bit older. He's 32. I don't know. Again, Kopech, another guy who throws hard, but 30 years old. Does he really help us all that much? Kyle Finnegan at this point in his career, not really all that interested. Can't select a catcher. Yeah, nobody there that's really all that intriguing. Again, this team is not very good, so anybody is an improvement. We're just looking to maximize that improvement as best as we possibly can. Don't want to block Mason. I want him playing every day. This is rough. Hunter Bishop at a 70. Like, Daz Cameron is a legitimate major league type of player. I know he's 30. Like, that's not kind of the team we're looking for. But I think it's down to Daz Cameron and Hunter Bishop. So let's go through the numbers. 53 versus right, 45. So Bishop. Contact versus left, Cameron 73, 55. So Cameron 1-1. 53 and 46, 42 and 58. So it's really just a matter of, do I want the righty bat or do I want the lefty bat? Because that's what I would assume these two guys are. 59 vision, 53, pretty similar. 60 fielding, 71, that goes to Bishop. Arm 70, 82, that goes to Cameron. Speed, they're about the same. So I think with a lot of these things being fairly equal, other than Daz Cameron being a much better contact hitter against lefties, I think we probably just go with the younger player who's got 3 years of renewable left. I think Cameron has 2. In a perfect world, both of these guys are available. And Daz Cameron's also making $600,000. I wonder if both of these guys could be available. Let's select Hunter Bishop with the first pick in this year's Rule 5 draft. Maybe Daz Cameron's going to be still available because I don't think any of these good teams are going to pick anybody. So now we have a decision to make. Do we go right back to the outfield, pick Daz Cameron, and go with an outfield of Bishop, Cameron, and Harder this year, which is way better than anything we had last season? Or do we draft the reliever, probably go get Kopech, make our bullpen significantly better, although he's on the final year of his deal before free agency. Alzolay has 1 more year after that. I wonder if we just go make our bullpen better, but like getting Daz Cameron, our outfield would be complete for next season. At the risk of taking multiple outfielders and potentially having issues, I don't know, man. Daz Cameron, even at 30, he's an immediate starter. I think we're going to double up. I think we're going to take Daz Cameron with that pick and go with a center fielder and a right fielder. Now, we have to skip, unfortunately, for the rest of the draft because we can only take 2 players, which having Kopech would have been really, really nice. But I think we got significantly better. I think having Daz Cameron in center and Hunter Bishop in right, and then or in left even, we could go Hunter Bishop in left, and the right fielder that we drafted in right, we just got significantly better. All right, so we've gotten our roster to 90 guys now, and I think that's probably enough for where we're at this current juncture. Just kind of set up our rotation just to see what it looks like. Yeah, I re-signed to Joe Random. I think it's funny. I can't quit it. I just can't quit it. We actually have 2 Joe Randoms, but I just think it's so funny that a 7 overall is still in Major League Baseball. And we are officially in year 3. So let's take a look at how things have progressed for us over the first 2 seasons. Last year, 2 years ago, I should say, we were 0 and 162. This past year, we were 20 and 142. So if we won 20 games this year, I'm expecting at least 40 wins next season. I don't know if that's obtainable or not, but I think with the team that we now have, which I think is significantly better, we have 3 guys who are actually, one is a legitimate major leaguer, 2 are like borderline major leaguers in Barco and Little at the rotation. Bullpen still stinks. Hernandez, I think, is a legit major leaguer. So is Pozo. I think Castle is on his way. Chavez is going to make the team out of camp, of course. And then we have Cameron, our Rule 5 pick, Bishop, our Rule 5 pick. So I think, honestly, in our major league or in our whole organization, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys who could make a major league team. We had 0 in year 1. Last year, I think we probably had 2. It was Pozo and it was Barco. Now we're up to 10 with Chavez in the fold, with Hernandez in the fold, Cameron and Bishop making the team as the Rule 5s, Karlik being the legitimate ace of this staff. I think we are starting to slowly head in the right direction. So the first year we win 0. The second year we won 20. Now I want to ask you once again, how many games do you think we're going to win in 2027? I'm thinking we get up to at least 40 wins this year, and it's going to be on the backs of our 3 good starters, our 1 good bullpen piece, and our Rule 5 picks from the last 2 seasons. You let me know in the comments how many games you think we're going to win, and let me know who should be in the starting lineup. Which of these guys should we start heading into 2027? We'll see you next week for the next edition of PHLY Plays MLB The Show. A happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of you across not just the Delaware Valley, but wherever you find this video. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm super grateful for you for allowing me to do this each and every week. We'll be back with week 3, or year 3, I should say, next week here on the PHLY Phillies podcast. See ya.